Cameron Teague Robinson.
Ryan, Julian after the game mentioned how important Tuesdays and Wednesdays are as a quarterback for you, and like the excellence you demand in those days. What do you learn from a quarterback as you're going through and kind of demanding that kind of game plan, installation excellence, and how important is that as you kind of build with them?
I think it's extremely important. What you learn is, again, I use this term all the time, but I believe in it, is you build trust. You build trust in coaches, you build trust in your teammates, and then you build confidence. And I think the more you prepare, and the better you prepare, the more confidence that you can play with on game day. And a big part of that is practice and how you practice. So when you're out there, we're trying to simulate the game the best we can. We're trying to recognize the things that we feel like each guy can do based on a game plan, and then as coaches we try to put them in the situation to be successful. And then but the guys who are on the field, who are showing that they can do their job and are practicing, are the ones that we're going to call that personnel grouping, or call that defense, or call that play, because that's what we see. So it's like an audition to see what it's going to be like on Saturday. So and practice is very, very important, and everybody has to be on their stuff. Coaches have to be organized, the meetings have to be on point, the scout teams have to be on point. I mean, everybody has to do their part in a practice to make sure it's run correctly and efficiently. And as the season goes on, we have to be more and more efficient with our time. So it's really important. But Jules has seen what it's supposed to look like and has continued with that, with the preparation, with the meetings, with the walkthroughs, on the field, taking command, taking coaching, making corrections. All that stuff is important during game week.
Over here to Jeff Gilbert.
Coach, there's a lot of talk about this being the best defense in the country. What are your thoughts about that when you hear that kind of stuff talked about?
Well, I always say, just like everybody else, ignore the noise, but more importantly right now, ignore the noise. I feel like when you hear something like that, you're just getting set up. So it has nothing to do with what's gone on from here on out. Nobody's going to probably really remember much about the first 5 games we played, but they're going to remember the rest of them. And so we got to keep getting better every day. And what'll matter in the end is who's the best defense at the end of the year, not right now.
Right next door to Andy Andrews.
Yeah, Max Clare's coming off his most productive game. He made a nice adjustment. I know it was a great throw by Julian, too. He made a nice adjustment, though, on that long catch he had. Kind of a similar way to how he improvised against Ohio for the touchdown catch, I thought. Just how have you seen the chemistry develop between him and Julian over the course of the season?
Yeah, Max is getting better and better. I think there was a little bit of an adjustment based on how we practiced in the preseason, and I think you're really seeing him start to really take off now. We see that happening a lot when we have newcomers coming to the program, but his attitude's been great, and you're seeing the talent come forward now, and he's building some chemistry with Julian and the offensive line, the tight ends room in general. So good to see him making plays, because he certainly has the ability to.
Right next door to Dan Hope.
You were asked yesterday about CJ and Malik, but we saw Zion and Logan play more at defensive end. Last week we saw Hakeem and Leroy get in there at safety. How do you feel like the depth is coming along at those positions?
Yeah, what a great opportunity for them to get on the field. And Zion flashed, and Leroy's had some good snaps. So you just never know how it's all going to shake, but what a great chance for them to get on the field and get quality reps. And we continue to build depth at those positions that we know we're going to need late in the season. So again, you just never know when your opportunity is going to come, and here we go. These guys are going to be in there, and good to see them now. I think sometimes when you're on the scout team and you feel like sometimes you're buried in the depth, when you have this opportunity, you almost find yourself with a new life. Think about like last year when Luke Montgomery really stepped up late in the season. He changed his whole demeanor. So good to see them kind of bouncing around with a hop in their step. But when we put them in the game, we expect them to do their job. That's part of the deal in terms of getting the unit where it needs to be.
In the front, Mike Waxman.
Coach, talk about the challenge that Luke Altmaier presents. He's one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the Big Ten, and he's been very accurate this year too.
Yeah, the Big Ten right now has some great quarterbacks, and he's exactly one of them. Like you said, he's one of the top guys in the conference, and not only does he make great decisions, he gets the ball out quick, he's accurate, he knows exactly how they're trying to attack a defense in terms of the plan that Brett and his coaching staff puts together, RPOs, quick game, play action pass. And he also can hurt you with his feet. He's got good quickness. But like you said, those experienced guys who have seen it before, there's a lot they can recall. He's won some big games before, and he's a really good quarterback. So another really good challenge for us. We've gone against good quarterbacks already this year, but he presents some different challenges, and so we need to finish off the week in our preparation.
Right next door, Bill Rubinov.
The decision to potentially redshirt CJ Hicks, what went into that? How receptive was he with that, and what can be inferred from that?
We certainly haven't made any decisions. We're going to go week to week. We'll see if maybe he decides to play this, or if we decide that we're going to play this week based on depth chart, and then we'll see where we're at maybe next week. Maybe he'll play next week. But what we don't want to do is waste a year of redshirt just on special teams and a few reps here and there on defense. But he's ready to go, when needed. But we also want to do what's right by him. So, if we find ourselves in a situation where he's going to get closer to 15 to 20 reps in a game, we're going to play a lot more special teams, and now you're looking at about 30, 40 reps, and then he's going to play. So, I think he also, and we're also, still trying to figure out if we think that they're going to pass the rule of 5 for 5, because if that's the case, then he's wasting some opportunities. And if they feel like there's a good chance that this is going to pass, I wish they would just kind of give us a heads up so guys like CJ could play.
We'll do 2 more. Spencer Holden.
And you guys have attempted the fewest third downs this season for anybody in the season. Obviously, it's a good thing. You don't face a lot of third downs. Where do you feel like you guys are right now? Not just with Brian being a first-time play caller, but with Julian and just handling the pressure of being on third down so far.
Well, yeah, third downs are huge, as you know, and we have to be on our stuff on third downs. Wednesday's a huge third down day for us. The more we play, the more we're learning about it, but we want to be on schedule so that we're not on in third and long situations, and then converting on those. But I think for us, the ability to spread the field with multiple weapons gives us an advantage. But we'll know as we continue to get more and more opportunities. But our conversion rate has been solid, but we always want to be better.
And last question, Austin Ward.
I've never seen Bo earn some more opportunities. What becomes the next challenge once you get to that point and you become someone who's got 17, 20 carries in a game?
Yeah.
What's the next step there?
Yeah, well, I think you probably know. Yeah, I think when you go from being a role player or a backup to being the guy, it's just a workload, and the number of carries and the expectation, and then what comes with that for an entire season. So I know we're all excited about Bo. I think his teammates see it, we see it, but he is still a freshman. So it's our job to make sure that we're bringing him along the right way, and that we're recognizing his ability to sustain a certain level of play for an entire year. But the talent's there, the work ethic's there, the way he practices is indicative of how he's playing in the game. So and I still think there's a huge ceiling here, and the more he plays, the better he's going to get.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, good.